Hello, I'm Yvette. Welcome to my channel. Over here, I talk about all things art from painting to knitting. I hope your day is going well so far. For me, I'm currently on my period and so I'm feeling mighty uncomfortable and I just want to lie in bed and knit the whole day and not talk to anyone, and that was kind of what I was doing before this, and that's kind of why I'm filming from the comforts of my bed as well, so I hope you guys are okay with that. Anyway, in today's video, I'm super excited. I really wanted to film this video because I have been wanting to knit all of these 10 patterns for the longest time, or yeah, actually for the longest time, and I haven't been able to do so because I kind of ran out of cable needles. I'm not sure where they went. It could mean that I have too many whips, or it could mean that I have not enough cable needles, which I probably should get more cable needles. Because I can't cast on these projects yet, I feel like the next best thing is to talk about them and find an outlet for me to just talk about all of these beautiful patterns, and so that's why I really wanted to film this video today. Also, it feels like a huge thunderstorm is coming soon. I can see a lot of dark clouds everywhere, so I do hope to be able to finish filming this video before the thunderstorm comes. So let's start, shall we? Before moving on further in this video, I just want to say one thing first. I made a similar video in my 20 summer knitting patterns video. That was more of a pattern recommendation video. Today I'm just talking more about patterns that I personally can't wait to start knitting. And in the previous video, I received a few comments saying that they wished that I shared more free patterns as well, and I totally get that. However, it just so happens that the patterns that really speak out to me are patterns that are paid patterns, and I hope I don't offend anyone by saying this, but personally I don't mind spending a few dollars to pay for a pattern because I do know that a lot of work goes into designing a pattern, and the pattern designer first has to actually even think of a design, and then to plan it out, execute it, to write out instructions for it, grade it for different sizes, get it test knitted, and then publish it. And I'm sure there's so much more work that goes on behind the scenes that I'm not even aware of. So because of that, I don't mind spending a few dollars to just support the pattern designer. Anyway, most of the patterns are always just a few dollars, and that is like maybe the price of one skein of yarn. So honestly, it costs a fraction of what the entire project is gonna cost. So that's just my 2 cents, and I hope I don't offend you guys by saying that. But yeah, and all of these patterns that I'm gonna list today are also paid patterns. Sorry about that if you guys were looking for free patterns. It has started raining, so sorry if there's some background noise, but let's start, shall we? So the first pattern that I really want to make is the Pippa tee by Marie, and this is a pattern that I have been having my eye on since she released the test knit for it in February, I believe, and I even got the yarn and the buttons for it. This is a recently released pattern. This was released yesterday, 1st July, and so I can't wait to start knitting it. I've already bought the pattern and I think I will start casting it on soon in the next maybe 2 weeks or so. So a short description about this pattern. This pattern is knit up with 4mm needles. The suggested yarn is the drops Bourmelin. I just love this pattern. It's a fitted baby tee that's worked top down. The front and back pieces are first worked separately and then joined in the round, and then afterwards it is worked flat again to make a short slit at the side. There is also some seaming for the shoulders, and stitches are picked up to make a collar as well as a button band for the slit on the side. Cap sleeves are finally added by picking up stitches around the armhole and are shaped using short rows. So this sounds like a very brilliant pattern, and when I first saw this photo, especially the side view where she has the little buttons on the side, it immediately caught my eye. I was like, I have to knit this, I have to get this top. And I can't believe I managed to wait so long for the pattern to come up because I think this pattern is so beautiful. The thing I love most about this pattern is its cute little detail at the side. It's very rare to see like buttons going down the side of the body and being utilized that way. I usually see this more in maybe vests. So to see this in a tee, I think that is really, really nice. I feel like the buttons on the side of the body really allow for a really nice negative ease style tee, but it still can be taken off and put on really easily because of the buttons. This is a very beautiful t-shirt. I love capped sleeves. I actually do not have many capped sleeves, but somehow patterns with capped sleeves do kind of catch my eye quite frequently. So this is the drops Bourmelin in the shade 15. So the suggested yarn is drop spumulin. However, there are very few color selections available. There are only 9 colors in this particular yarn. I really wanted to knit the same one in like the off-white color, but I think it was out of stock when I wanted to purchase the yarn, so I got the number 15 instead, which is light gray. And I think this yarn, it will look so beautiful, and I even got some buttons for it as well. This is how the buttons look like against the yarn. Look how cute. I think this would just look super perfect together, and I'm super excited to get started working on this t-shirt. And I think this would look so nice with like some shorts, some jeans, just a very cute summer tee. And I think it'd be really nice worn like either with all the buttons buttoned up or like the bottom 2 unbuttoned. I think that would look really nice as well. I love the crop design. I love the amount of negative ease on it and how the cap sleeves kind of drop around the shoulders. It looks so beautiful, and yeah, there's nothing much else to say except that I can't wait to start casting this on immediately. I am just waiting to finish up with my Darjeeling blouse, which I have over here. So once I'm done with this blouse, I'm going to cast on for this immediately. So I forgot to talk about the yarn content for this drop spumulin. This is 53% cotton, 47% linen. I'm super excited to work with this yarn. I want to see what it would be like to have a garment that has such a high linen content, because I do know that it can soften up with use, and even using the drop spell with I think like 13 or 14% linen, it really has softened up with wear and with use, and so I'm super excited to see how this top will turn out as well. So the next top that I'm going to be talking about is the Cora top by Learnit, and this looks very similar in cutting to the Sabai top by Suzanne Mueller. Even though it looks very similar, it has this really nice lace detail that's at the top at the neckline, and I think that makes for such a very beautiful, elegant kind of top. It kind of up-classes the top a little bit and makes it look a little bit more smart casual. And because of the lace detail at the top of this neckline, that is what caught my eye about this design and why I really want to knit this as well. This is once again a recently published pattern. It was released in June 2025 as well, so just last month. And the suggested yarn is actually the Sanders Garlina or the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. So it is a worsted yarn, and the recommended needle size is 4mm needles as well. A little description about this Cora top. It is a boat neck with a very intricate lace border knitted in rib and lace pattern. The rest of the top is very simple stockinette stitch with slim rib edges along the hem and the armholes. I'm thinking for this pattern, if I have some extra yarn, I don't mind using my drop spell for this pattern as well. I think it's pretty interchangeable with the Sanders Garlina. I think it might be slightly thinner than the Sanders Garlina because it has a little bit more yardage than the Sanders Garn. So we'll see how that goes. I actually don't have any yarn for this pattern yet. Maybe some extra yarn from my past projects if possible. But yeah, I really can't wait to knit this pattern. I do love how she knit it in a really light color, and I think that just enhances the lace details as well. So if I were to knit this one, I would probably try to choose a lighter color as well, just so that the lace detail will be enhanced and will look even more beautiful. And about the sizing, there are quite a few sizes available as well. It comes from XXS all the way to 5XL. I think if you're a fan of the Sabai top, this would be right up your alley as well. So yeah, this top is beautiful. I don't think there's anything else left to say about this pattern. Yeah, I just love it. The next pattern is something that I'm super excited about as well. It's probably the next pattern that I will knit after the pippa tee. The next pattern that I have to recommend is the Seceda Summer Top, and this is a pattern by Suko Knit. This pattern is so beautiful. I saw this on Instagram. It was just like the front facing photo with the model, and what really caught my eye about this design is the waist shaping details that it has over there. I love how it's not just a simple like negative ease or positive ease kind of summer top, but rather one that was like tight fitted, and then it goes further in at the waistline to just kind of shape the waistline a little bit more, and then it comes out at the bottom kind of like a peplum top. So I love this detail. I think it looks really nice, and that's what drew me to this pattern as well. I feel like the waist shaping as well as the vertical line that you have going on down right the middle, that just kind of elongates the torso and makes for a very flattering design. I'm not sure what this center line is. It looks like maybe just some pearl rolls right in the middle. I'm not so sure. I really love the version that she did in beige, and I think it looks super flattering on her. I really want to make one for myself as well. The suggested yarn is the Sanders Garlina as well as Drop Spell, which I have the Drop Spell in my stash right now. So it is a worsted weight yarn. The needle size is also 4mm needles. So I think the first 3 patterns are all 4mm needles. That makes for a much faster summer knit as compared to what I've been knitting with 3mm needles that takes so much longer. Sizes available is not too great. It's from size 1 all the way to size 5. Yeah, the measurements for the bust goes from 81 cm all the way to 105 cm, or 31.8 inches all the way to 41 inches. So these are the available sizes. I am not sure if she's going to plan to add extra sizes. Doesn't seem like it. The yarn that I'm planning to use is, I feel like I've talked about this yarn in like every single video, but once again, it's the 100% combed cotton from Banu Story, and I'm currently using this to make my tea number 1. I bought 4 balls of yarn, I believe, and I've only used 1 ball so far for my tea number 1. I do believe that I'll be left with maybe 1.5 balls of yarn, maybe 2 balls of yarn, and each ball of yarn comes in 350 meters, I believe, 320 meters, and so I do believe I have more than enough for this seceda summer top. However, I don't want to start this top yet until I'm like slightly more down with my tea number 1, so that I can see if I do indeed have enough yarn available for this top. But I'm super excited to knit this top. I can't wait to have this in my wardrobe as well. I think it will look absolutely beautiful. And I think it's a super flattering design for anyone who wears this, honestly. It has a little bit of a boat neck as well, and recently boat neck tops have been really catching my eye. I have yet to knit one, but I really hope to do so soon. I love how it's bra friendly as well. I think it's just beautiful. Such a lovely top. The next one that I have to talk about is, and I can't believe I'm actually suggesting this, but it's the Ivy Top by Petite Knit. This is the first ever pattern that I'm suggesting of Petite Knit, and honestly for the longest time, like, I do like Petite Knit's patterns, but I feel like I don't like the patterns enough to want to actually knit one up. However, this Ivy Top, every time someone has posted themselves wearing the Ivy Top, I always click on it because it always catches my eye, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's the Ivy Top again. I think something has to be said about this top. I really want to knit this one. So once again, the suggested yarn is the Sanders Gun Tin Linen, the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, or the Saga Yarn Trio 2. So I do have the pure silk in my stash. I don't know if I will have extra though, because you're supposed to hold the yarn together to make a DK weight yarn. Needle size once again is 4mm needles, so I'm not so sure if I have enough yarn for this. Probably not. So we'll see how that goes. I do believe because you're holding the yarn together and the gauge looks like 20 stitches and 28 rows, generally I do knit a little bit tighter, so I do think I can get away with using like the drop spell once again, because I believe my gauge for that is around 21 stitches on 4mm needles, so I think that will work for this top as well. For sizes, this comes from XXS all the way to 5XL, so quite a huge range of sizes once again. A short description about it: the Ivy Top is worked from the top down. The top is constructed so the first section is worked with shoulder increases and short rows, then the front and the back yoke are worked separately, back and forth on the circular needle. The front and the back is then joined again, and then you knit in a round, and then the finishing, I'm not so sure what it is, but one thing that I really like about this pattern is the shoulder details. I think that's so nice, and the little like mock neck. It's a little bit of a higher neck, and I think that looks really, really beautiful as well. I'm not sure what kind of neckline this is called, but I love it. I think it'll make for a beautiful everyday top. I love how all the first 4 patterns that I've suggested so far are all bra friendly, and I feel like the fact that it is bra friendly makes me all the more likely to wear it that much more frequently. So I am really excited to knit this pattern soon. I can see myself actually knitting this Petite Knit pattern. I'm really excited to see how it turned out. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this pattern. I do believe that it is just a very nice, simple, classic, everyday top. And I think that is just the draw of her patterns, which is like just simple, versatile, everyday pieces. So I do think this will be a pattern I'll be knitting eventually. However, I just have way too many other projects on hand right now, so hopefully I can knit this soon. Oh, this pattern was once again, I think, released last month in June. I feel like June was a really hot month this year for like releasing of beautiful patterns, and unfortunately I don't have all the time in the world to knit all these patterns. I wish I could. The next pattern that I want to talk about is an older pattern. This is the camisole number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Is it really a video of mine if I don't recommend her patterns? I feel like I have been recommending her patterns in every single video of mine and talking about her patterns in every single video as well. And there's just something that's really, really beautiful about like My Favorite Things Knitwear's designs, and I feel like My Favorite Things Knitwear is such an awesome summer knitwear designer. She's really ahead of things when it comes to summer knitwear patterns, and I've knitted the camisole number 9 from her as well as the tee number 1. I found both patterns super beautiful. I love the end result. There is like really nothing to complain at all about both patterns, and the pattern instructions were also super simple to understand and to follow. I feel like everything was super smooth sailing, and because of that I feel more drawn to her patterns as well. I just know that if I buy a pattern of hers, I'm probably not going to encounter any difficulties or any mistakes. That's why I'm leaning towards the camisole number 5 as well. I just think it's really nice. I love the ripped detail. If you guys saw my other video, I did the twist loop top, and that was also full on ripped with a beautiful cable detail at the front as well. Yeah, I think ripped tops, vertical ripped tops, just look really, really nice. It looks very flattering, and there's just something about the ribbing effect where it's like it kind of cinches in at the side and then elongates like top to bottom that make your torso appear longer and slimmer as well. And I think that makes for a very flattering top. This pattern was actually released in July 2021. The suggested yarn is knitting for olive merino. Given that it's a summer pattern, I wouldn't knit this in the merino. I'll probably use the cotton merino to knit this, just as I use the cotton merino to knit my camisole number 9 as well. So that's probably what I would do if I were to knit this pattern. The suggested needle size is 3mm, so this is my first light fingering pattern that I'm talking about. The sizes available is quite limited. It's only XS to XXL. A short description about this pattern: the camisole number 5 is a classic singlet top worked in rib. Increases are strategically placed for decoration, which gives the top a unique look and a great fit. The top is worked from the top down, which means that you can adjust the length to suit you and your body. I think what caught my eye about this pattern is the rib detail at the shoulders over here. I just love how it kind of just follows along the shoulders, and it just looks really nice. The increases, like she said, were strategically placed, so I just love the little rib detail that goes like towards the underarms over here, and then the rib details that go down the front. I think it looks very beautiful, and it's such a flattering top as well. Yeah, there's nothing much else to say about this pattern. I don't think I'll knit this pattern anytime soon because I just did back-to-back tank tops with 3mm needles, and I need a break from the 3mm needles and tank tops. I feel like I don't need that many for now, but I really do want to knit this top. What color will I knit this with? I'm kind of influenced by her white color camisole. It looks really nice. So I do feel like I want to knit one in a lighter color, but I'm not so sure. I think pink would look really nice for this. When it comes to camisoles or tank tops, I generally like to go for a bit of a darker color. Basically nothing too close to my skin color, because I want to have a bit of a contrast between my skin and the tank top that I'm wearing, just so that it doesn't look like I'm not wearing anything. That is what I am planning for this camisole. If I were to knit this, probably a nice pink would be nice. I am currently in my pink era, so maybe that. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like I may have extra yarn left behind. Wait. Let me show you guys my yarn. Okay, so I'm going to knit my nacha dress again the second time around with this yarn, Strawberry Ice Cream. Which is a knitting for olive cotton merino yarn, and this is how she looks like. I think she looks absolutely beautiful, and once again I think I bought slightly extra yarn. I do hope I bought slightly extra yarn because I can use the excess from that yarn to knit the camisole number 5. I think the last time I knit the camisole number 9 I used barely 2 balls of yarn. For this is 750 meters to 1000 meters or 820 to 1094 yards. So I doubt I'll have enough yarn for this, but it would be lovely if I have enough yarn to make the camisole number 9 in this beautiful pink color. I think it'll just look very nice and summery. And I think I don't have a pink tank top. I mean, I know I'm wearing one right now, but like a brighter hot pink kind of color. The next top that I have planned to knit is the Ophelia tank and top. This is a pattern by Tamara Jordan. The suggested yarn is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, which I do have pure silk in my stash. The suggested needle size is 2.75mm. I guess I am going down in needle size as I'm suggesting patterns, but this is a really small gauge. The sizes available go from 28 inches to 62 inches or 71 cm all the way to 157 cm. A little bit about the construction of this top. This is a top that's knitted from top down with short row shoulder shaping as well as waist and hip shaping along vertical darts on the front and the back. And I love the fact that it comes with 3 arm finishing options. It comes in a tank top version, short cap sleeves, as well as the long flared sleeves. Honestly, I really love the look of the long flared sleeves. I feel like I don't really wear long sleeves, so I wouldn't knit that one. If I were to knit a long sleeve version, I probably would not wear it. I wouldn't knit a tank top either because I find that the lace detail, if they are like too close to each other, it becomes a bit visually clashing or just a bit too many things going on at once. If I were to do the tank top, I'll probably not knit the edges over here, maybe just simple I-cord. But what really catches my eye is the capped sleeves. I know that I said I love capped sleeves and this pattern is no different. I really do want to knit the one in the capped sleeve version. It is very rare that a V-shaped top will actually catch my eye because I feel like I do not look good in V-shaped patterns. But there's just something that's so beautiful about this lace detail over here. I'm trying to look at it through my comb. I just think it's so beautiful, and the little darts that it has, I think it looks like a, I don't know what to call it, but those little darts that are protruding outwards at the neckline. So beautiful. Love that. I'm just wondering, if not the cap sleeves, then maybe a cross between the cap sleeves as well as the long flared sleeves. Like maybe instead of doing all the way to the edge, how about if I do it like halfway through and then like flare it right above the elbows, and then it will look like a really elegant blouse. I'm just toying around with the idea. I feel like I wouldn't probably do that, but that's a possible option as well. I am curious if it will turn out well. Anyway, I have some yarn planned for this pattern, and this is the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the shade Dusty Artichoke. So this is how she looks like. I was initially planning to use this to knit the fleur tee, however, I've since changed my mind. I will be using this to knit the Ophelia tank and top instead. I do hope that it will turn out well. I think it will look nice. The light green will really enhance the lace details as well. So I think this should work out quite well, and I have more than enough yarn for this pattern, I do believe. Yes, I have more than enough yarn for this pattern. This pattern only needs a yardage of 480 meters to 2,377 meters or 525 yards all the way to 2,600 yards. So I'll say not as much yarn as compared to some of the other projects. Now the next top that I have to talk about is something that has been on my eye for a while, and this is the Braidy loop tee by Other Loops. Now I've just did the Twips loop top by Other Loops as well, and I love that. I think the instructions were pretty easy to follow. Yeah, the instructions were really easy to follow. I had no like point in time in the pattern where I was like, what is the designer trying to talk about? I have no idea, but it was really clear, it was really concise, it was not too long-winded that, you know, the instructions would get lost in a sea of words, but I do think the pattern was really easy to follow, so I don't mind knitting another of her pattern as a result. I do have some ideas for this pattern. Before I talk about that, let's just talk about the suggested yarn. So the suggested yarn is Knitting for Olive Merino, Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino, and Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair. The suggested yarn weight is actually a DK weight, so holding a fingering weight yarn like the Merino or the Cotton Merino with a lace weight yarn like the Soft Silk Mohair. So the suggested needle size is 4mm once again. The sizes available are super limited. I didn't realize that, but it's only from size 1 all the way to size 4. So some descriptions about this t-shirt. This t-shirt is worked from the top to bottom in one piece. So the stitches are cast on from the neck, then worked back and forth in white ribbon with cables, first across the left shoulder and then across the right shoulder. Stitches are then picked up along the front edges of the shoulders and the back piece, and then you work back and forth in white ribbon with cables. At the same time, increases are worked for the sleeves and the neck. So I believe you work the back first and then you work the front. After that, you join at the underarms and then you continue working in the round. And then afterwards, you just continue for the sleeves after you're done with the body, I believe. I love her grey t-shirt version as well. I think the cables are so beautiful, and I feel like this is like, it's kind of a play of a classic saddle shoulder. I know this is not a saddle shoulder, but I just love how instead of like a rectangular piece over here, it is something of interest and it's incorporated into the design. And I love how she kind of added a design element to the point. Otherwise, usually quite simple. I love the white ribbing as well. I think that looks really nice and chic. Really cute piece. And I am planning to knit this, but it's not cast in stone yet. Definitely I'm not gonna knit this in a soft silk mohair because that just sounds insanely hot for a summer piece. So I'm planning on holding the cotton merino held double. So this is the shade Dusty Banana and this is the shade Buttercup. So two of them together, this is how they look like. I'm planning on holding them together to create a nice marling effect. I'm not sure how it will look like though, so I just want to do a gauge swatch first and see if I actually like the look of the marling effect. And if I do, then this is what I'll be using to knit the Braidy look tee. I do think this by itself will look really nice as well as a t-shirt, but I do want to mix this with this bright yellow. I feel like I wouldn't be able to pull this yellow off. I just don't think it'll look very nice on me. So I'm thinking of toning it down a little bit with my Dusty Banana yarn. Yeah, I think the two of them together will look beautiful. I just wonder though if I should use a marling effect for this Braidy loop tee because there is some details along the shoulder pieces and I don't want the cables to get lost in the marling effect. So this yarn decision, this yarn choice is subject to change. We'll see how it goes. The next thing that I have to recommend is the Peacock shirt by Learn It once again. This is a pretty old pattern as well. This was released in July 2023. So the suggested yarn is Sanders Gun Mandarin Petite. The needle size is 3mm and the sizes come from XS all the way to 5XL. If I do start this pattern, this will be the first circular yoke pattern that I've ever knitted. So I do hope that it will be nice. I do know that some people have some issues with like the fit of a circular yoke top, but this pattern, this lace pattern just looks absolutely gorgeous. I just love the little eyelet details that it has going on and just fanning out from the neckline all the way down. I do not have any concrete plans for this yet. I have no idea what yarn I'm going to use for this. Maybe it is time to try the Mandarin Petite yarn and see if I like it. If I manage to get my hands on that yarn, this is what I'll be using it for. It'd be really nice to be worn like tucked in and a long flowy skirt as well. I think that would look really nice. I love the eyelet details and the lace details at the top, which make this top look very, very elegant. Because of how elegant it looks, maybe the ribbing can be changed to folded edges instead. I'm just thinking. After doing two of my favorite things knitwear patterns, she has done the folded edges and she has won me over as well. I do believe folded edges just look really, really nice and polished. If I were to do a modification for this pattern, maybe that's what I'll do. I'm not sure. We'll see. So after the neckband, they are actually short row shaping to make for just a better fit. And then the yoke with the lace pattern is worked, raglan increases are made, and finally the sleeves and the body are separated and worked one at a time. So I love the fact that even though it's a circular yoke, there's still German short rows incorporated. After knitting like the Darjeeling blouse and doing all the lace details over here, just a sneak peek. And if you can tell, the lace details, I want to make more lace details. I think they look so nice and it's just a simple way to elevate an otherwise really simple top. So yeah, I'm really interested to knit that. And now moving on to dresses, the first pattern that I have to recommend is the dress number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I know 2 of my favorite things knitwear in one video. I'm so sorry, but I really do want to knit this dress. I seriously really want this dress. I can't emphasize that enough. When I first saw the blouse number 1, I was like, wow, this blouse is beautiful. I love the boat neckline. I love the flat sleeves. However, as I said earlier in the video, I don't really wear long sleeves. So if I were to knit the blouse number 1, chances are I would probably not really wear it. Because firstly, it'll be too hot. And secondly, and this is quite niche, but I hate having long sleeves when I go to the toilet because when I wash my hands, the sleeves always get wet. Like, I can push them up, but if they are flat sleeves, they'll go right back down and then it'll get wet when I wash my hands. And because of that, that's why I actually don't ever wear long sleeves. I know it's quite a specific thing, but yeah, that's the reason why. However, when I saw this dress number 1, the reason why I really want to make this dress is because I feel like its cutting makes for a really elegant look. The flared sleeves also look very elegant, and because of that, I do believe that I would wear this dress more, but maybe for like a special dinner or something like that. And because of that, Usually when it comes to more like smart casual or formal settings, that is a place for long sleeves as well. So I do believe that this can shine in a really nice like smart casual semi-formal setting, and the long sleeves just kind of elevate their look all the more. So because of that, I really want to knit this dress number 1. The suggested yarn is the Rama Petunia or Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. I would probably use the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk for this pattern. The yarn weight is DK, so you're supposed to hold the Pure Silk double. So I don't have any yarn currently stashed for this dress. I would definitely have to specifically buy yarn for this because it would definitely eat up quite a bit of yarn. The needle size is 4.5mm needles. I feel like even holding the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk held double, if I used 4.5mm needles, it might make for a really gapey fabric. So I'm not so sure if I would do that or I would size down to 4mm needles. I will only know after I do a gauge swatch. So the sizes for this dress is quite good actually. It comes from XS all the way to 4XL, so I think that's a great size range. The yardage required is 2,000 to 3,250 meters, or 2,187 yards, all the way to 3,554 yards. So quite a lot of yarn is needed. Yeah, but I really do want to knit this. So a little bit about the construction. The neckline is shaped by working short rows, which ensures a great fit. The yoke and sleeves are worked using the contiguous method for a seamless finish. So the dress is worked top down, so you can knit it to exactly the length that you want it to end at. And I'm not sure how the finishing looks like. She didn't really talk about it, and I don't have the pattern yet. Actually, I don't have any of these patterns yet except for the pippa tee, but it looks really nice. I love the blue color one that she used. I think the fit for that is slightly better than the brown color one. So if I were to knit this dress, I would definitely want one with a little bit more of a tighter fit. So with a little bit more of a negative ease, that would be perfect. So I think the brown one is a little bit too loose for my liking. I would love the blue color kind of fit much more, and the flared sleeves, just chef's kiss. It looks beautiful. So I'm thinking colors wise, I'm considering doing this in the lemon curd color. I actually wanted to buy the lemon curd shade of yarn from Knitting for Olive last month when I made my purchase. However, it was out of stock and it's since come back in stock, but I'm not sure if I should do another purchase so soon. So because of that, I may not be starting on this dress anytime soon. A second color that I'm considering for this is like once again a pink color. I'm thinking like the rhubarb juice will look really nice. I'm looking at their website right now and I think that will look super nice. The rhubarb juice or the plum rose color or even the poppy rose color, I think they'll look really nice. There's so many good colors that I could knit that with. Really excited to knit this pattern. I do believe it'll be a really nice and like mindless pattern because it's just straight stockinette all the way down for the most part, and yeah, just really excited to knit this pattern. I do hope I can do that soon. And the last pattern that I have to talk about is the silhouette dress, and this is by Christine Lickgard. And this pattern, oh my goodness, when I saw the silhouette, I think it's called a silhouette blouse. It looks kind of the same, but it's just a blouse instead. That was really nice. But the dress is beautiful. This is a pattern that was released in May this year. The suggested yarn is Viking of Norway Bambino, and the yarn weight is DK weight yarn. The needle size, once again, 4mm. I guess that's the overarching theme of this whole video, 4mm needles. And the sizes available is pretty limited as well, from XS all the way to XL. I'm not sure if she's looking to increase the size range. Doesn't seem like it. A little bit about the construction of this dress. It is knit top down in a light and soft bamboo blend using 2 strands held together throughout. The dress features small buttons all the way down along the left front edge, allowing it to be styled in different ways. And throughout the work, the dress is shaped with increases and decreases that follow the feminine silhouette and create an elegant look, and this can be adjusted as needed. So what caught my eye about this dress, apart from the long rows of buttons all the way down the middle, is once again it has capped sleeves. It's beautiful, and I love where the dress ends. I just think it looks very nice and flattering. I love how it looks quite tight fitted, but it flares out at the hip area, so it's still comfortable to be worn but still really elegant looking. I think the buttons are such a nice touch, of course, to the entire pattern. I'm not sure where to get these kinds of buttons from, so yeah, I haven't gotten around to actually planning for this dress yet, but we'll see how that goes if I will ever get to knitting this, but I really do want to knit this pattern because I think it looks very nice and very flattering. I do love that she used the bamboo yarn because I think that makes for a very nice sheen on the dress. I think it looks very nice and elegant because of the bamboo. So I think if you wanted to knit this in Knitting for Olive pure silk, I think that would be nice as well. It would give a nice sheen and finish to it. Definitely because it is a bamboo yarn, over time it can still kind of stretch out. Same goes for the Knitting for Olive pure silk. I think it might stretch out over time. So those are the considerations that you might want to make when knitting this dress. I feel like sewing down the buttons will be like the bulk of the time that is spent on this dress. So I foresee myself, if I want to knit this pattern, I'll finish knitting everything, and then when it gets to sewing the buttons down, that would be like, I'll take the same amount of time to sew the buttons down as it was to knit the entire dress. We'll see if I get to knit this pattern. I think it looked really nice, and I don't mind knitting it in the exact same color that she did, or I think this would look really nice in the lemon curd color as well. Or even, how about a sage green? I think that would look quite nice. I think this dress would be really lovely, great to be worn on like a hot day or casual outing. I think that would look beautiful. So these are the 10 patterns that I can't wait to start knitting. I feel like May and June was like the months for the release of all of these great summer patterns. So I've been browsing through Ravelry and Instagram and just been flooded with so many good patterns. I really want to knit all of them, and I hope that I can at least custom one of these patterns soon, the pippa tee. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that this video inspired you guys in some way. If you guys end up knitting one of these patterns, do let me know. Or if you guys are planning to knit any of these patterns, let me know what yarn you guys are gonna use and what shade. I am super curious like that, and I just want to know everything. Let me know down in the comments down below, and as always, see you guys in the next video. Bye!